We will go through the solutions for the exercises for chapter 3. For number 1, the definition of the mean is D. For number 2, X bar is the sample mean, mu is the population mean, so number 2, the correct one, is D. For number 3, which one is not a measure of central location? This is the variance. The correct one is C. For number 4, this is the definition for the median, C. For number 5, which one is a measure of dispersion? Dispersion means variability, so the correct one is B, variance. For number 6, you have the standard deviation, so you have to take the square of the standard deviation, square of 36, so the correct one is 1296, so the variance is 1296. For 7, you have to take now the square root of the variance in order to calculate the standard deviation. Square root of 49 is 7, so the correct one is C. 8, the first quartile is the same as the 25th percentile, so the answer is B. Number 9, this is the definition for the z-score, D. And for number 10, the key word is 2 standard deviations. As a result, A, 95% is the correct answer. For 11, as you can see, we have a longer tail to the right, so it is skewed to the right, so the answer is B. Problem number 1. To calculate the mean, we add all the data and we divide by 10 because we have 10 students. So the sample mean is 1100. For the median, you have to put the data in order. We have 10 observations, so the median will be the average of the 5th and 6th ranked observation. So the median is 1090. While the mode is 940, since we have two 940s. For problem 2, we have to calculate the standard deviation and the variance. So what we have to do for the sample variance, we have to calculate summation of x. So we have to add all the data, and this is 250. Then we have to take the square of every observation and then add. So the summation of x squares will be 12,750. And then we use the formula, summation of x square, which is 12,750, summation of x square, 250 square over 5, how many observations we have, and because we have a sample variance, we divide by n minus 1. So the sample variance will be 62.5. Now, we take the square root of 62.5 and 7.9 will be the standard deviation. For problem 3, we repeat the same steps. We calculate the summation of x, which is 64, summation of x square, which is 532. We continue with the formula, so the variance is 2.857. You take the square root of the variance, this is the standard deviation, 1.69. Problem 4, we have to calculate the percentiles and the quartiles. So step 1 is to put the data in order from the smallest to the largest. Then for the 60th percentile, we calculate the index. The index is 60 because of the 60th percentile over 100 times 10 because we have 10 observations. This is equal to 6 and this is an integer. Because we have an integer, we have to take the average of the 6th and 7th ranked observation. The 6th is 19, the 7th is 20. As a result, the 60th percentile will be 19.5. For the 80th percentile, we have to calculate 80 over 100 times 10. This is equal to 8. Again we have an integer, so we have to take the average of the 8th and 9th ranked observation. 22 plus 25 over 2, 23.5. For the first quartile, this is the same as the 25th percentile. We have to do 25 over 100 times 10. This is 2.5, non-integer, so we round up to 3. So the value of the third ranked observation is 14. And the same steps for the third quartile. 75 over 100. The third quartile is the same as P75, 75th percentile. So 75 over 100 times 10. This is 7.5. We round up to 8. It's a non-integer. So the value of the 8th observation is 22. And this is how we calculate the percentiles and the quartiles. Problem 5. We have to calculate the interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1. So we have to calculate the first and the third quartile. So the first quartile, 25 over 100 times 30. We have 30 observations. 7.5, non-integer. We round up to 8. So the value of the 8th ranked observation, it's 180. Then 75 over 100 times 30 is 22.5. We round up to 23. So the value of the 23rd ranked observation is 211. So the difference between the third and the first quartile will be 31. 211 minus 180. For problem 6, we know the sample mean is 1000, we know the standard deviation, the keyword is 68%. If it's 68%, it will be x bar plus minus 1 standard deviation by following the empirical rule. So x bar plus minus 1 standard deviation will be 1000 plus minus 50. So it will be from 950 to 1050. So 68% will be between 950 hours to 1050 hours. Same problem as number 6 is problem number 7. However, now we have 95%. If we have 95%, this is going to be x bar plus minus 2 standard deviations. The mean is 75 plus minus 2 times 5. The standard deviation is 5. So this is going to be 75 minus 10 is 65. 75 plus 10 is 85. So 95% of the batteries will last between 65 to 85 months. For the last problem, we have to calculate the z-score for 70. So x is given. But for the z-score we need also the x bar and the standard deviation. So we have to calculate the sample mean, which is 95. We add 40 plus 60 and so on, and we divide by 6. For the standard deviation we follow the same steps as before. We have to calculate summation of x, which is 570, summation of x square, 68,300, and then we use the formula. Don't forget, again, we have a sample, so the denominator will be 5, not 6, 6 minus 1. So the variance is 2830, the standard deviation is 53.19, and then we calculate the z-score. 70 is given in the problem, 95 is the sample mean, the standard deviation is 53.19, so the z-score will be negative 0.47. That means 70 is half standard deviation far from the mean.